Hola, buenas noches.
Profe, buenas noches,
Buenas
bienvenido.
noches. Bien, gracias, perdón, estaba tratando de entrar por otro celular, pero no
Profe, es
tenía
el link de la reunión o del PPT.
el link de la reunión, no la tenía. O sea, porque ahí entra directo. No, pero ya entré por acá. No, pero para la siguiente, si me puede mandar el link para poder entrar desde otro celular, de otro dispositivo.
Ah, bueno, profe.
Vale. Estamos listos para la clase.
Sí, profe. Bueno, buenas noches a todos. Les doy la cordial bienvenida a la primera clase de gramática para compartirles los parámetros de las secciones por videoconferencia. Las secciones se graban, pueden verlas nuevamente en la plataforma virtual. Les solicitamos que por favor silencien sus micrófonos y puedan activarlos cuando quieran hacer consultas o aportes con el permiso del docente. Le pedimos que mantengan su cámara activa. De no poder hacerlo, enviar su excusa por el chat de Zoom. De lo contrario, será retirada la sección y le serán rezados puntos en la valoración del docente. Mi rol como moderador es facilitar y apoyar en la parte técnica. Consultas por el chat personal o general. Les exhorto a tener bolígrafo y papel para hacer sus anotaciones y aprovechar al máximo esta sección que tiene una duración de 2 horas. Bienvenidos.
Me avisa ahí cuando puedo empezar.
Sí, profe, ya adelante. Profe,
Ya puedo
mira, ahí te
empezar.
mandé el link.
Ya puedo empezar, ¿verdad?
Sí, profe, claro que sí.
Ah, listo, gracias. Voy a empezar compartiendo la pantalla. Buenas noches, estudiantes. Espero que se encuentren bien. Hoy vamos a empezar con la clase de Grammar number 4. For this, I share my screen. Para esto vamos a compartir la pantalla. Okay. Well, first time, good evening. My name is David Franco. I will give you the subject grammar number 4. Reading words. The route of the 1,000 miles begin with the first step. Welcome each one of you to this wonderful course of grammar number 4. Dream, even if that dream seems impossible. 5. Even if the enemy seems invincible. Bear the pain, even if it is unbearable. Run where the brave dare not go. Turn evil into God, even if that takes 1,000 miles to walk. Love the pure and innocent, even if it is non-existent. Resist, even when the body can no longer resist. And in the end, you will reach the star, even if it seems unattainable. The next slide is dosage and organization of the subject. In this class, we have a methodology in curriculum unit, duration, weekly theoretical, practical word time, and total word time. Transitive, the number 1, and intransitive verbs is the first week, are 8 hours. Total word time are 8 hours. Number 2, linking words, dynamic and stative verbs. 2 week, 8 hours and 16 hours. Number 3, using which infinitive for purpose. 1 week, 8 hours, 8 hours in total word time. Number 4, correlative conjunction, tag question. are 2 weeks, and weekly theoretical practical are 8 hours, and total work time are 16 hours. Immersion formal and informal English are 2 weeks, 8 hours, and total work time are 16 hours. Total estimated theoretical practical hour could be 64 hours. The next slide, number 4. You need to know the evaluation notes, the rubrics or evaluation criteria, self-assessment and metacognition, heteroevaluation and final note. La consigna y la ponderación. Student value is 5%, heteroevaluation 5% too, and curricular unit 1 are 20%, curricular unit 2 15%, curricular unit 3 20%, curricular unit 4 15%, and finally curricular unit 5 are 20%. The total are 100%. Instruction, please. The first thing you should do is locate yourself in a comfortable place with enough light and without distraction. Turn off the TV and cell phone if is necessary. Read the objective carefully. They will help you understand what you want to learn. To make it easier for you to learn the subject, the document is divided into 5 parts called modules. Do not skip tasks, please. Complete each one of them in the given order. Learning objectives in this module. Recognize and use transitive and intransitive verbs. Identify and apply the rules of compound nouns. And the second part. Well, we will see the types of verbs, transitive and intransitive verb, and the second place, compound nouns, in module 1 and 20%. Verbs talk about the action or the state of any noun or subject. Action verbs. Transitive verbs. Transitive verbs have a definite object on which or for which the action is being performed. Rose is painting the kitchen wall. Hannah gave him a big huge. Intransitive verb also show action, but here there is no specific object on which the action is being done. Rose is painting right now. Hannah sneezed repeatedly. Okay, what is transitive verb? Transitive verb is when the action of the verb passes from the subject to the direct object. Es decir, los verbos transitivos cuando la acción del verbo pasa del sujeto al objeto directo. Other way is intransitive verb. Intransitive verbs don't need an object to make sense. They have a meaning on their own. Los verbos intransitivos no necesitan un objeto para que tengan sentido. Ellos significan por ellos mismos. Right? Okay. Let's read that. Quick summary on transitive versus intransitive verbs. The difference between transitive and intransitive verb is that transitive verb require a direct object to express a complete thought, whereas intransitive verb do not. In this paragraph said that the difference is that transitive verb require a direct object. Otherwise, the intransitive don't need that. A direct object is a noun or pronoun what is acted on by the verb and answer the question, whom or what. In the following sentence, conveyed is an example of transitive verb and message is the direct object. She conveyed a message. Ella transmitió un mensaje. The transitive is, in this case, the transitive has a direct object. Yes. Otherwise, rise in the example of an intransitive verb. Yes. The sun rises every morning and sets every night. Yes, el sol se levanta todas las mañanas y se oculta todas las noches. This is an intransitive verb. Yes. Next, number 10. Okay, in this slide, I give you some example. You need to know the difference about the transitive and intransitive verbs in the middle of the example. Example number 1 is in orange square. Transitive verbs need an object. I said before, if you know is to know what is transitive verb, you know to know that they need an object to complete their meaning. We liked the match. I closed the door. In this case, the transitive need an object, direct object. I like the match. Yes, need 2 words. I closed the door. It's an action. It's an action in the moment. They caught the ball. She visited me at school. Yes, there are action that you do in the moment, no later, no before, isn't in the moment. I saw an endangered animal. She told me the way to get there. I like trees. Yes. The otherwise, we can see intransitive verb. Intransitive verb cannot have a direct object after them. Yes. Is like the first example. We arrived in the afternoon. Yes. She caught strangled. Your dog barks a lot. In this case, your dog barks a lot. It's not, don't have a direct object in the moment. His father arrived last night. The sun rose quickly. I was sleeping. Please check in this case is the past. I was sleeping. The game was not funny and nobody loved it. Remember, in this case, we have not a direct object. Next. A transitive verb always has a direct object, a noun or pronoun that receives the action of the verb. The object shows who or what complete the action expressed in the verb. In this case, tienen que saber que el objeto del que o quien completa la acción expresada en el verbo. In this case, James hit the ball. It's transitive because en este caso James le pega la pelota. Por eso es un verbo transitivo, porque se está dando en el momento y lleva un complemento, completa la acción. The direct object is ball. Ball tells you what James hit. Roger eats a big breakfast every morning. Yes, It is a transitive verbs. You need to know there are some verbs are transitive. In this case, is it. The direct object of it is breakfast. Yes, and breakfast tell you what Roger eats. Means the object is the breakfast, and the direct is that Roger eats. Otherwise, we can see an intransitive verb. Does not have an object. It doesn't need an object to complete the action expressed in the verb. Example, the little girl sat quietly in the chair. Yes, Margaret walked slowly down the street. Yes, we can see we have not a complement or don't complete the action expressed in the verb. Yes, they do not have a direct object to complete or receive the action. Yes, in this case we have to see and reminder these words. They do not have a direct object to complete or receive the action. In this case, we have two videos, intransitive and transitive verb. I show you, but first you need to know we have a question here. The question here is, what is the difference between a transitive and intransitive verb? And the answer is a transitive verb is one that requires a direct object to finish its meaning. Example, he plays guitar. Yes, the subject is he, and transitive verb, remember it's a verb. You know what are the verb, plays. And guitar is a direct object. Other form is an intransitive verb, is one that does not need a direct object to complete its meaning. Example, she loved and smiled. She is the subject. Well, I show you the first video. Please pay attention about the video. Let's begin. Okay, I don't know if you heard, but the link is in this slide. Let me see. Start again. I don't know if it's possible to.
Intransitive verbs. A verb that does not make sense on its own in a sentence requires an object. It is called a transitive verb. For example,
One moment. Ready.
Transitive and intransitive verbs. A verb that does not make sense on its own in a sentence requires an object. It is called a transitive verb. For example, the shelf holds the books. Here, the shelf is the subject, holds is the transitive verb, and the books is the direct object. A verb that indicates complete action by itself in a sentence does not require an object. It is called an intransitive verb. Adverbs and prepositions usually follow intransitive verbs. For example, my sister cries loudly. Here, my sister is the subject. Cries is the intransitive verb, and loudly is the adverb. A transitive verb is incomplete without a direct object, whereas an intransitive verb makes complete sense without a direct object. For example, we watched. I jumped in excitement. Sometimes a transitive verb takes two objects, a direct object and an indirect object. The order of the objects can be reversed in some sentences. For example, I lent my toys to my friends. I lent my friends my toys. Here, my toys is the direct object, and my friends is the indirect object. Some verbs can be used in both ways, as transitive verb and intransitive verb. For example, Ricky plays football. Ricky plays very well.
Well, I hope that you are clear about the transitive or intransitive verb with this video. But I want to show you the next video, maybe support your knowledge about the subject. Let me show you. Okay. Thank you.
Transitive and intransitive verbs. In this module, you learn about transitive and
Let me. It's okay. Great.
transitive and intransitive verbs. In this module, you learn about transitive and intransitive verbs and their use. A verb is a word describing an action, a movement, or a state of being in a sentence. For example, the wizard cast a spell on the little girl. Here the verb cast describes the action of the wizard. The magician wore a pointed black hat. Here the verb wore describes a state of the magician, that of wearing a hat. Verbs can be classified into transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that requires both a subject and one or more objects in the sentence to complete its meaning. An intransitive verb, on the other hand, is a verb that has only a subject and no objects in the sentence. In other words, an intransitive verb does not have an object after it. Let's look at some examples. The wizard looked at the crystal ball. In this sentence, the verb looked describes the action of the subject wizard, the action of the object, the crystal ball. Therefore, the verb looked is a transitive verb. Similarly, in the sentence, the wizard picked up the magic wand. The verb picked is a transitive verb because there's an object, which is the magic wand. Now, look at the following sentences. The magician laughed loudly. In this sentence, the verb laugh describes the action of the subject magician. Note that the sentence does not have an object. Therefore, the verb laugh is an intransitive verb. Similarly, in the sentence, the little boy screamed. The verb screamed is an intransitive verb, as there is no object. We should notice that in each case, the subject is doing the action, but nothing receives the action. It is important to be able to understand whether a verb is transitive or intransitive. For many verbs in class, if your teacher thinks that the verb is hard to understand, we'll ask something like this. Does the little boy cry, or does the little boy cry something? In this case, we'd say that cry is intransitive, and we would not add an object after cry, as it would make the sentence wrong. Similarly, for transitive verbs, we should use the same method. The little boy sells, or the little boy sells something. In this case, the first sentence sounds funny, as the verb sells is a transitive verb and needs an object, so the second sentence is correct. Listen to the story. Merlin the wizard lived in a big castle on top of the hill. Every morning he drank a magic potion. Then he took Psyche, his dog, for a walk in the garden. One day, a little girl named Lucy wandered into the garden. On seeing the little girl, Psyche barked. Lucy started crying. Merlin got angry. He cast a spell on Lucy. She turned into a parrot. In the paragraph, the verbs lived, drank, took, wandered, sing, cast, turn are all examples of transitive verbs. The verbs bark, crying, angry are all examples of intransitive verbs. Let's recall what we've learned. A verb is a word describing an action, a movement, or a state of being in a sentence. Verbs can be classified into transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that requires both subject and one or more objects in the sentence to complete its meaning. An intransitive verb is a verb that is only a subject and no objects in the sentence.
Well, I hope that you understand the difference between the transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, let me small this video. Well, you need to resolve this question and send me on the forum when you have time. And you have to make a vocabulary of this word that you don't understand and answer and send to the forum the question asked below the video. In this case is what is the difference between a transitive and intransitive verb. Yes. Por favor, hagan un vocabulario de las palabras que no entiendan y respondan y envían al foro las preguntas hechas debajo del video. Este es el video y la pregunta en este caso sería ¿cuál es la diferencia entre un verbo transitivo y un verbo intransitivo? Igual aquí les tengo unas respuestas, si quieren poner esa o si quieren ahondar más, los invito a que revisen el internet, inclusive en la plataforma de nuestra universidad CETES University. Okay, next. Now, we will see that compound nouns. What is compound noun? Compound nouns are words for peoples, animals, places, things, or ideas made up of two or more words. Most compound nouns are made with nouns that have been modified by adjectives or other nouns. In many compound nouns, the first words describe or modify the second word, giving us insight into what kind of thing an item is, or providing us with a clues about the item's purpose. The second word usually identifies the items. You need to know, in this case, compound noun describe or modify two words. Sometimes or almost always is they have a second word. Compound nouns are sometimes one word, like toothpaste, haircut, or bedroom. Yes, these are often referred to as closed or solid compound nouns. Sometimes compound nouns are connected with a hyphen, like como dry cleaning, daughter-in-law, and well-being are some examples of hyphenated compound nouns. Sometimes compound nouns appear as two separate words, like, example, full moon, Christmas tree. Christmas tree is a compound noun, but appear in two words but separate. Yes. Before the paragraph, we can see there are connect with a hyphen, dry clean. But when they appear as two separate words, we can see full moon, Christmas tree, and swimming pool are some examples of compound nouns that are formed with two separate words. Compound noun is a noun that is made with two or more words, dos o más palabras. A compound noun is usually noun at noun or adjective at noun, but there are other combinations. See below. It is important to understand and recognize compound nouns. Each compound noun acts as a single unit and can be modified by adjectives and other nouns. There are three forms for compound noun in this slide. For example, open or spaced, space between words, like, example, tennis shoe. Tennis shoe have two words separate, yeah? And hyphenated. Hyphenated es cuando tienen un guión, hyphenated between words. In this case, six pack. Sometime in Panama, we bought a six pack of soda, yes, or juice. A veces en Panamá compramos un paquete de 6 o 6 pack de soda o jugos, ¿sí? Y están separados por un guión. En este caso, hyphen, guión. Yes. Number 3, closed or solid. No space or hyphen between words. En este caso, no tienen guión ni están separadas por palabras, como es el primer caso, que era zapatos deportivos, tennis shoes, que están separados. Y en el segundo renglón vemos six pack, que están separados por un guión. ¿Sí? En el tercer caso, in the third case, we have the union about two words, que es la unión de dos palabras, en este caso, bedroom. Yes. Here I give you the hyphen meaning. El significado de hyphen es guión. If you don't know. Si no lo sabía. Next. Okay. We have another combination about the compound noun. We said before we have three forms, but in this case we have another combination, like nouns and nouns. Example, bus stop. In this case, we can say, is this the bus stop for the number 12 bus? Or firefly? And the tropic, you can see fireflies at night. See? We can see that the words are separate for hyphens. In the first case, the words are separated by the space. En el primer caso, están separados la parada de bus, bus stop, por un espacio. En el segundo caso, por un guión, hyphens. Yes? Hyphens. Bien. And the third is the combination of two words. Yes, when they are union. In this case, football. See, football, balompié. Sure, we play football today. Iremos a jugar fútbol hoy. Yes, and football is the combination or the union, the two words. In this case, is noun at noun, but we have another forms like adjectives at nouns. The first case, full moon. Yes, I always feel crazy at full moon. Blackbird. Blackbird is when we have two words, union two words. Clean the blackboard, please. And software, I can install the software in my PC. Yeah. Remember, in this case, we have an adjective. Yes, I always feel crazy at full moon. Yes, we have an adjective. In this case, we see the verb with ing, continuous form, at noun. Yes, breakfast. We always eat breakfast at 8 a.m. Washing machine. Put the clothes and the red washing machine. In this case, we can see the ing represent the verb at noun. Yeah, the verb at noun. The swimming pool. What a beautiful swimming pool. In the three form, we can see the ing that represent the verb at noun. Now, I show you the noun at verb ing. In first case, we can see the verb in first place and after the noun. Yes. Now we can see the other ones. Sunrise. I like to pick up at sunrise. Haircut. You need a haircut. Train spotting. His hobby is train spotting. The otherwise, we see the verb at preposition. All these squares represent the compound noun. Check out. Please remember that check out is at 12 noon. Yes. Now we can see noun at prepositional phrase. Mother-in-law. We have see that preposition in the word in is in the middle between mother and law. Mother-in-law. One sentence it could be, my mother-in-law lives with us. Preposition at noun. Preposition like underworld. Do you think the police accept money from the underworld? The preposition before the word. In this case, underworld. Noun and adjective. Truckful. We need 10 truckfuls of bricks. Yes, 10 truckful of bricks represent the nouns and adjectives. Next slide. I show you, or I give you some example about the plural forms of compound nouns. Like mother-in-law, in the plural forms is mothers. You need to add s in this sentence, mothers-in-law. Taxi driver is in singular, but if you want to modify in plural or say in plural, you can say taxi drivers. Yes, it's a many taxi drivers. Blackbirds. Yes, remember add the s, the final last word. Blackbirds. Bucketful. Bucketful, you add as bucketfuls. Spoonful. Spoonful like bucketsful. You add the s, the final word. Spoonful. Passerby. Passerby keep the same form. Check in, the plural is check-ins. Afterlife, afterlives. Ground up, ground ups. Remember, add the s and the final word. Yes. Man servant. In this case, you need to add the s and change the first word. Men, because represent many, one or two men. Woman, wrestler. And the plural is woman wrestler. The next slide. I show you like the transitive or intransitive verb, 2 videos for you and can you understand better the this subject? Well, first, to see to watch the video, please read the question. what are compound nouns? When you see the video, you have to in capacity to respond this question. Then this question is: compound nouns are words for peoples, animals, places, things, or ideas made up of two or more words. Most compound nouns are made with nouns that have been modified by adjective or other nouns. Please, when you finish to see these videos, answer the question and make a vocabulary of the word you don't understand and answer and send to the forum the question asked below the video. Por favor, hagan un vocabulario de las palabras que no entiendan para su mejor comprensión y respondan y envíen al foro de la plataforma las preguntas hechas abajo del video. Estos son los videos y esta es la pregunta. Pueden tomar la respuesta que yo les he dado aquí o pueden investigar, por favor, dentro de las lecturas y videos que hemos preparado nuestra Universidad CETES para ustedes para que puedan resolver esta pregunta. Well, we will see the first video. Bueno, veremos nuestro primer video que hemos preparado para su comprensión en este tema, in this subject. Please pay attention. Thank you.
Hello guys, welcome back to this English course on nouns. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about compound nouns. They are very common in English and there are thousands of them. You need to know about them. Let's get started. A compound noun is made up of two different words. So you take two words, you put them together to create a new noun. They're usually quite easy to understand. For example, full moon. Full is obviously the adjective describing the moon. Let's take a look at other examples and how to create compound nouns. Sometimes compound nouns are a single noun, like toothpaste. Sometimes there are two or more words hyphenated, such as mother-in-law. And sometimes there are two separate words, like ice cream. Now, you have to be careful. Sometimes you have a simple adjective plus a noun, like a greenhouse. But you also have a compound noun which has a different meaning, a greenhouse. Now, a greenhouse is a house which is green. But the compound noun, a greenhouse, is a place where you grow plants. Completely different meaning. Okay, so you have to be careful. Stresses can help. Usually the stress is on the first syllable in compound nouns. Okay, I hope you get it, guys. Let's take a closer look now at compound nouns. Okay, let's now take a look at the parts of speech that make up a compound noun. We can have a noun and another noun, like bedroom. We can also have a noun and a verb, like haircut. A noun and a preposition, like passerby. A verb and a noun, like washing machine. A verb and a preposition, like drawback. A preposition and a noun, like underground. an adjective and a verb, like dry cleaning, an adjective and a noun, like software, or a preposition and a verb, like input. As you can see, guys, there are so many ways to create compound nouns with different words. Now let's get back to our examples for pronunciation. Please repeat after me. Bedroom, bedroom. Haircut, haircut. Passerby, passerby. Washing machine, washing machine. Drawback, drawback. Underground, underground. Dry cleaning, dry cleaning. Software, software. Input, input. Good job, guys. Let's now move on to plural compound nouns.
Now
So
we
when
can see the
want to
plural
make compound nouns plural,
we saw
there are
before.
rules to follow. If you have a single word, you simply add an S. But if you have separate words, whether hyphenated or not, you will make the most significant word plural. Let's take a look at examples. Newspaper will simply be newspapers. So I have many newspapers. Swimming pool. Now, what's the most significant word? Well, it is pool. So we will say there are 2 swimming pools. You cannot say there are 2 swimmings pools. No S, swimming. Brother-in-law, what's the most significant word? Of course, it is brother. So you will say, I have 2 brothers-in-law. And finally, woman doctor. Now, what's the most significant word? Actually, both words are significant. So we will both make them plural. Remember, the plural form of woman is women. So we will say, 4 women doctors work at the hospital. Let's work on pronunciation. Can you repeat after me, please? I have many newspapers. I have many newspapers. There are 2 swimming pools. There are 2 swimming pools. I have 2 brothers-in-law. I have 2 brothers-in-law. And finally, 4 women doctors work at the hospital. 4 women doctors work at the hospital. Good job, guys. Now let's move on to practice. To practice, I have a few sentences, and I want you to tell me if we are using compound nouns or not. Let's take a look. I want to drink some cold water. Is cold water a compound noun? What do you think? It isn't. Cold is a simple adjective describing the water. She has a new boyfriend. Is boyfriend a compound noun? Well, it isn't in this case. He's your friend and he's a boy. But the compound noun boyfriend in one word exists and has a different meaning than Your boyfriend is more than a friend. He's the boy.
In this case, we can see two words. There are no compound noun because we have a simple word, boy, friend. We have two words separate. And the difference is boyfriend in one word. When it is in one word, we can say we are in front to the compound noun.
Boy you're having a relationship with. Another example. The bluebird was singing in the tree. Is bluebird a compound noun? Not in this case. It's a simple bird and it's blue. But the compound noun bluebird in one word exists. It's a specific.
In this case, it's the same to the word before. A bluebird, when you separate the words, is not compound noun, but when they are in one word, bluebird or boyfriend is the compound noun because it's one word. Yes, the union, the two words, and form the one word.
Let's meet at the bus stop. Is bus stop compound noun? What do you think? It is. And finally, I have two alarms clock. What about alarms clock? Well, it is a compound noun, but there is a big mistake. Can you see it? Of course, the plural form. The plural form is not alarms clock, but alarm clocks, because the most significant word is clock. Okay, guys, let's move on. Thank you for watching. I hope you better
That's it in this video.
And how to create.
Let's see the next video about the compound noun. This video is good video. Now is more specific too. Let's see. Friend.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Inglés. In today's video we are going to learn about compound nouns. First, let's learn what a compound noun is. A compound noun is made up of two or more words. Look at the following example. The words butter and fly get together and make the compound noun butterfly.
In this video, we can see that union or form two words. Word one is a butter, at word two, fly. Represent, or finally, is one word like butterfly. Butterfly in this case is compound noun.
Okay then, let's learn a few compound nouns. Sun, flower, sunflower, light, house, lighthouse, cup, cake, cupcake, lip, stick, lipstick.
In this video, we can see that different words that form the compound noun. When you have two words and form one word, we have compound noun. But in this video, we can see many examples.
Rain. Oh. Rainbow. Fire. Firearm. Rain. Coat. Raincoat. Chair. Armchair. Pan. Cake. Pancake. Foot. Ball. Football. Cup. Ball. Cupboard. Foot. Print. Footprint. Basket. Ball. Basketball. Note. Book. Notebook. Ear. Phone. Liver. Star. Fish.
Starfish.
Starfish. Ear. Ring. Earring. Key. Board. Keyboard. Toothbrush. Toothbrush. Key. Hole. Keyhole. Hand. Bag. Handbag. Door. Bell. Doorbell. Black. Board. Blackboard. Bed. Room. Bedroom. Book. Shelf. Bookshelf. Eye. Ball. Eyeball. Cat. Boy. Cowboy. Snow. Man. Snowman. Jelly. Fish. Jellyfish. Fire. Fly. Firefly. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please.
Well, in this video, we saw the different forms about the compound nouns and different words. Please remember, make a vocabulary of the words that you don't understand and answer and send to the forum the question asked below the video. See, please send this question that are below to the video and answer the question and send me at the forum, please. Next slide. Is this the vocabulary? We have some words like not, underwood, headache, red skier, dears, she whispered, Kurt drought to switch while knitting the gloves. Noticed to lie down on the sofa. He looks it up, high, really concerned, to split the check and tie. If you have a word that you don't understand, add it to the vocabulary. Yes? Well, I invite you that you have to see the video, the transitive and intransitive verbs in the platform. Yes. And the second video is the compound noun. It's not the same that we saw before. It's the another video there are in the platform. We have two reading in the platform too. The reading one is about the transitive and intransitive verbs. The reading two is the compound noun. Please, I want to read and watch the video on the platform. Where is the platform? You know where is the platform, but in the next slide, I show you where is the platform. The platform, you can see the video. The video one, transitive and intransitive verbs. And the video two, compound noun. And the reading, second, observe the reading. In order to read this reading, you must click the PDF image. Reading one, transitive and intransitive verb in PDF. And reading two, compound noun, you can click in PDF and you can read this subject. Please, in the forum, the value is 5%. The record is 8%. You have to do that test that is in the platform for the next until you have to respond to next Wednesday, 1 week. 1 week is until next Wednesday. Yes. Now, with activity calendar, with that, we formative and summative activity, complete all the assignment included in this module. Curricular 1 represent the week 1. Please, if you have any question, send me the question and the form. If you have a doubt or you have a question or if you don't understand something in the transitive or intransitive verbs or compound noun, please send me your question and the form. I will see your interactive that you write in the form. Now, that's it in this class. Thank you and good night. I hope that you understand the different subjects, and I invite you that you do the exercise and the test, read the forum, watch the video. That's it, and please have a good night. Thank you so much.
Profe, ya finalizamos.
Sí, ya finalizamos. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias a todos por su asistencia. La sección se da por finalizada. Los espero en la próxima clase. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias.